Hello everyone. In this presentation, I am going to configure Active Directory in Windows Azure. First, I will provision a new Azure virtual machine, which is going to run Active Directory Domain Controller inside a new Active Directory forest. So let's begin. Here I am in front of the management area. And on the left hand side, I have several options. Now, the option that I would like to work with today is the virtual machine option. So I will click on that. And once I do that, I am presented with this information which tells me that no virtual machines have been created. So in that case, I will need to click on this Create a Virtual Machine button to be able to create a new one. Also, I could come down to the bottom left-hand corner here, where I have the plus new sign here. And I could also click on this button to create a new virtual machine. So let me do that by clicking on this new button. Once I do that, I am presented with a screen here with the virtual machines, and I also have the gallery area on the right hand side. I am going to try and select this from gallery area so I can choose from the gallery that will be presented to me. So here on this choose image screen, you can see that I have several Microsoft operating systems that I want to work with. You could also work with other types of operating systems. On the left hand side, as you can see, there's some other ones like Oracle and some other ones like Ubuntu and other servers. But mainly I want to be working with Microsoft Windows Server. And there's the Windows Server 2012 R2 Data Center. There is also the Windows Server Essentials Experience, and there is the Windows Server 2012 Data Center. This is the one I am going to be working with, which is the Windows Server 2012 Data Center, so I have selected that. Once I do that, there is a read area on the right hand side where I can basically just get an overview of what this Windows Server 2012 Data Center will do. And if you look towards the bottom also here, you can see there is pricing information. Now this is necessary if in case you want to subscribe to this service after the trial version. Right now I am working with the trial version and I will not be subscribing at this time. So since I have selected the operating system, what I need to do right now is to click on this continue or the next button right here on the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Now I have presented with more options on the virtual machine configuration page, which is where I am right now. On the version release date area, by default, the system already selected 3.12, which is the latest version that is available for me to use at this point. There are other versions, and I can see that if I click on this drop down arrow. So right here you see there was a previous version from February 11, 2015. But I think it's always best to work with the latest version. So I will select that. And here it's asking me to select a virtual, or at least give it a virtual machine name. So I will do that right now and give it Test Me Again as the virtual machine name. For the tier, it's going to be a standard basic configuration. For the size, it has selected A2 core 3.5 gigabyte memory, but I think I will go for a reduced memory for now. Also, it's asking me to select a new user name. So in this case, I will need to create a username. Basically, it's an administrative kind of username. I will give this a class thing. And for password, we have to remember that when we work with Microsoft servers, we have to select strong passwords that cannot be easily used by other people. So I'm going to put in my password. As you can see, it's prompting me that of what to do. And with this green check mark, it means that it is okay to use this password. It's strong enough. So I just have to confirm it here. So now that I have confirmed it, what I need to do, you could also read the information that's also on the right hand side if you want. It's similar to what we just read from the previous screen, except that there is more information right here about the operating system family and the number of disk that's selected. So now I'm going to click on this button, the next button. That brings me another screen. Now, some of the defaults that I have filled out in the previous screen is carried over here. For the cloud service, I want to create a new cloud service. Because as you can see by clicking on the drop-down arrow right here, I haven't created any previous cloud service. So I will select that, create a new one. The cloud service DNS name carries over from the previous screen, which we configured. And then for the region and affinity group and virtual networks, what we have to do here is to select the virtual network that we previously created. And I think it's this one. So now that I've selected that, it defaults to a subnet mask virtual network subnet right here. I'm going to leave this right here. It's the default for that at this point. And then we go to the storage account. Similarly, I will have to select a storage account that was previously configured, which is this one. And then for the availability set, I have not done any. So I will use this drop down arrow here and select this option that is here, create an availability set. Once I do that, it prompts me to give it a name. So I am just going to think of a name real quick here and give it a name. I think I'm going to give it Active Directory Avail and stop right there. For the endpoints, I'm just going to leave them the way it is, the default settings right here, and I am going to click on Next. By doing that, I am presented with another area of the virtual machine configuration screen. So we have further options here. You could decide to select any one of these options. I'm just going to read some of the legal terms that are here as well. I'm just going to leave the default setting that is here right now. And if you look right here on the right hand side, lower right hand side, I could complete this installation right now, or I could go back and correct any of the information that I have put there previously. I think I am going to actually select the complete configuration right now and let this all the information that we put in here go into effect. So if you look right here on the bottom of the screen, you can see it's configuring. Once this configuration is complete, it's an active progress. We will see right here that it is ready, configured, and ready to run. So Right now it's still working a little bit, still working in the bottom, as I can see right here. And once the configuration is complete, we will move on to the next stage of our configuration of Active Directory.